you have less than 5 minutes to increase the chance of converting a lead into a paying client by 391%. In fact, businesses who respond with this window are 100 times more likely to connect and convert opportunities compared to those who wait longer. And when your response is tailored specifically to their pain points, you can even boost the conversion rate by an additional 30.5%, which is insane. But the big question is, how do you respond to every single lead that contacts you and craft message that feels deeply personal, like you've studied their business for weeks, all within this critical 5 minutes time frame? In this video, I'll be showing you an AI-powered lead conversion machine that makes that possible even while you sleep. This intelligent agent reaches out to your lead within 30 seconds of contact to acknowledge their submission, then follow up with a deeply personalized email containing important details about their business in less than 3 minutes, with each message including a clear and strategic call to action that makes them feel like your priority and not just another name in your database. And this directly increases show-up rates significantly. If you are new to the channel, I'm Yusuf. I build end-to-end AI-powered sales system that generates high-quality leads on autopilot, responds to inquiries instantly to maximize conversion and manage client relationships through intelligent automation. Whether you are struggling with inconsistent lead flow, slow follow-ups, or manual CRM tasks, check the link below to book a call me and let's chat about building something tailored to your specific needs. But before we dive in, there will be a link in the description to download the whole workflow completely for free. And if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It's really helped the channel, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth content like this. So in this workflow, we are going to be expecting 3 outputs. First is the email that the prospect is going to get when they sign up or when they fill the form on your website or your contact page. So the form is going to be like this. It's going to look like something like this that will be on your website. They are going to input their name, their email address, and the message they want to send to you. And it can also be on your profile or whatever way you use to collect details of your lead that contact you directly, talking about inbound leads. So when they submit the form, they are going to get their first message, which is the message that will tell them that you've acknowledged their submission and they should wait for another message from you, that they should be watching their inbox. So that's the first output we are going to be getting from this particular workflow. And if you are new to this, I'm using n8n. n8n is a powerful automation platform that you use to build AI agents and AI automation. So that's what I'll be using. So alright, back to the workflow. The second output you are going to be getting from the workflow is the email that the prospect is going to be getting. This second email contains details about their business, which feels like you studied their business and literally you didn't do any research. It is AI that went ahead and do all the research for you. And the third output that you are going to be getting is details of that prospect, which include their full name, their message, the message they sent, the little details about them, which is about their industry, their website, the first email status, the second email exactly the way it was sent, and the note that you need to prepare for the call, since everything and all the work was done without you being involved. So it won't really make sense if you get on call with the prospect and you don't know anything about them when you already sent a message that contains information which you research about them. Like, I hope you get that. So that's the reason why you need this space to be able to like read summary about the prospect and the message that has been sent to them earlier and everything you need to prepare for the call. Alright, so I'll go ahead and test the workflow to be able to see everything that is going on. So the first part of the workflow is to input the prospect data, like I showed you on the website. So what I'm using for this particular workflow is just their full name, the first name, the last name, their email address, and for this email address I'll be using my own email address, my own test email address that I usually use on this channel, and their website URL, which we are going to be scraping to get additional information about them. And we can even go deeper by scraping their LinkedIn and stuff like that, but just like keep the video short and show you what is possible, like a POC. Alright, so and the message they want to send to you, and in this case I'm scraping a therapist website, a San Francisco therapist. So this is the website I'll be scraping. I just randomly find this online, and so this person theoretically is she needs an AI solution for her business. So this is the message she's sending. Hi there, I'm a therapist running a small practice and looking for an AI solution to make my life easier. I would love something that automates client intake forms, send appointments reminders, and maybe even analyze session notes to spot patterns. Like if client stress is spiking, I get bored down with admin work and want to focus on helping people. Can your team build something custom for this? I'm excited to. Alright, so that's just the sample of what the clients will be, what the prospect will be inputting on your website form, and this is the kind of website form that I'm talking about. And it can be anything, it can be any form that you use, probably in your social media bio or something like that. Alright, so let's take the workflow. So testing the workflow, the LLM is writing the first message to acknowledge the form submission, and this is the submission of the client, of the prospect. So, and the second part of the workflow is AI actually going ahead to scrape the prospect website, getting important information and important to be able to write a personalized message for the prospect. And the third part of the workflow, like I explained earlier, is the message that the prospect is going to be getting, and the last part is filling the Airtable. Alright, and for the CRM, you can use anything that you want to make it easier, and Airtable is pretty good and straightforward. So I'm using Airtable for the CRM. Alright, so let me pull up my email real quick to show you the kind of message you are getting. Don't forget, this is a test message to just show you what can be possible, and you can tailor it to whatever way you need. Alright, so the first message that I'll be getting is this. If I refresh my test email now, the email should come through. Alright, this is the first message that the prospect is going to be getting. The prospect name in this case, which it was on this website, and of course they put it on the form, is Janet, and also that's their name. So hi Janet, just wanted to let you know we received your submission. Because you are important to us, our CEO will be reaching out to you in minutes. We are committed to responding every lead in under 3 minutes, so keep an eye on your inbox. We are excited to connect best. So I just use a random AI agency to be for this use case. Alright, so that's the first email they're getting. So after some minutes, if I open this, so hi Janet, it's Yusuf, CEO of, I use my name for the test, it's Yusuf, CEO of Next-Gen AI Solution. Huge kudos on being a licensed marriage and family therapist serving the whole Francisco Bay, Los Angeles and California is serving the whole San Francisco Bay and Los Angeles and all of California is amazing. I saw your message about automating client intake forms, analyzing session notes, especially spotting stress patterns. I love that you focus on compassionate care and helping people navigate their struggles. I would love to build something custom that automates those tasks and let you focus on clients. Did you know AI solution has led to 97% appointment show rates? What's one-time consuming task you would love to eliminate from your day? Let's hop on call to figure it out. And so it's give a clear call to action. By the way, the whole message can actually be prompted and edited to the way you actually want it to be sent. This is just a random email to show you what is possible. And you can see the first part of the email was personalized, because we haven't done any research literally, and this talks about what they do and actually praise them on what they are doing. So it's include a clean link here to schedule a call, and if I click on this link now, it will direct them to your calendar to book a call. And this is my own personal booking link, so I included it in the message as HTML. I embedded it in the HTML message. So that's the second thing. So the third thing we are going to be getting is the details of the client or details of the prospect in our CRM. So if I go to the Airtable, I would see the full name come through, the message they sent on the form. So this is the only thing you are going to be interacting with. This is the only platform you are going to be interacting with. So you are going to be seeing the message they sent, the input on the form, and a little details about them. So this lead, Janet Lee, is a licensed marriage and family therapist. So, and their website will be here, and the first email status, you are going to be seeing the first email status, which is the one they got after they submitted their form, and the status is sent. So, and the second email, and this is the second email that was sent, the status is going to be showing here, and how the message was written to know the previous message that has been sent to them. So this is why you are getting the second email in your Airtable. This is why it's showing in your Airtable. Alright, so the last thing is the note, which is the most important, and this is all you need to prepare for the call. So for the notes, it's going to state things that you need to know about the prospect, probable solution and problem, and the client concern and everything. So the first part is that is here is Janet Lee is a licensed marriage and family therapist operating a small practice in San Francisco. So this is like a little introduction about the prospects and what they need. Janet needs an AI solution to automate client intake forms, send appointment reminders, and analyze session notes to identify patterns, and So that's about that, and also other few details. And other thing that I hear is the concern that the prospect might have. Janet might have concern regarding the cost of custom AI solution, data privacy and security, especially the HIPAA compliance and the integration of AI into our existing workflow, and short things you just need to prepare for the call. So when you are getting on the call with the prospect is going to know you actually do your diligence and you do your research very well. And all you literally do is just to read this last note that the AI sent to you, and the AI has already sent the first email, the second email, and already have done the heavy lifting for you, which increase the chance of conversion and show up rate and everything. So I'll go ahead and show you everything that's inside each note. And by the way, if you want the full in-depth, I'll be hosting the first live session where you get to ask me question about automation and any question that you have about automation, and also I'll be building the AI agents. I'll pick an AI agent or any agent of my choice, or the one that you suggest, and I'm building it live. So this is where you download the workflow that I'm showing you, and this is also where you are going to be able to have access to the live call where you be able to benefit. So if you are an AI developer yourself that build AI for your clients, or you are a business owner yourself and you are more technical and you want to build this thing yourself, so you can join the community to gain from that. So let's go back to the workflow, and I'll show you step by step how everything works. This is going to be different from my previous video where you look over my shoulder to see how I configure each node. I'll just be showing you around everything that is inside each node, and I promise you to be detailed. So let's go ahead and start that. So the first part of the workflow is the form submission, where the client is going to be submitting the form, which will be on your website or any form like I mentioned earlier that will be in your bio or whichever way your lead is contacting you. So to be this in n8n for test, I just choose n8n form. So you need a trigger to trigger the workflow. But if you are using this in a real life use case, maybe on your website, you need to embed the code, some sort of code into your WordPress or Webflow or whatever you are using. Alright, so for the test, I'm using normal n8n from submission, and the prospect will be inputting their first name, last name, email address, and website URL with the name. So this is all you need to be able to write a personalized email rather for the prospect. So that's the first part of the workflow. So you are going to configure the whole form to be able to so that you can use it for what you want to use it for. Alright, so the first part of the workflow is the URL of the form. So since I'm using test URL, so this is where I'll be leaving it. And if you want to use this in production, you just copy this URL and you are going to be putting it where you want to put it. So, but I go with test URL to use it. So for the authentication, you are not going to be putting any authentication, at least for testing. Yeah. And from the top for the form title, you are going to be including the form title to configure it and make it look nice, and the form description also. So when we come to the field, the first name is going to be there, and everything is going to be required, because if any value is missing, you won't be able to, the workflow might break and won't go through since a detail is missing. So whatever or whichever form you are going to be using, you are going to be making sure every field is required, because every step is crucial in proceeding in the workflow. So that's why I toggle this button on. So for the placeholder, is just the name of what you want the prospects to input into the form. So the same thing with the last name and their email address, and also their message. That's all. So that's the first part of the workflow. So the second part of the workflow is the first LLM, the first AI agent that will be writing the message. So the prompt I'm giving this AI agent is to write a short, warm follow-up email for the lead who just submitted a form. So this is the prompt. You can pause the video and read the prompt. So, but let me just go ahead and read it to make sure we're on the same page. So it's just a basic short prompt to be able to like tell the AI agent to write a personalized email, acknowledge their details, write a short and warm follow-up email for the lead who just submitted a form. The email should acknowledge their details were received, reassure them they are a priority, let them know the CEO or founder will reach out within minutes, emphasize that the company responds to every lead in under 3 minutes. And if you look at this very well, if you look at the prompt very well, this actually reflected in the email I pulled up earlier that I showed you. So you are going to be giving the input data that the AI needs to continue the workflow. So the input data that the AI needs is the first name. That's the only thing that this need actually, like that's the only thing I included. And if you check the outputs, this only need the first name to send the message. That's all, since it's just generic email and everything will be the same from this for all the prospects. So that's about that. And for the LLM, I'm using Google Gemini 2.0 Flash, so you can easily grab the API key. It's free. At least they give you free credit to use it. So I'm using Google Gemini, but I would suggest if you want to be, but for this part of the workflow, you can still like use Google or Grok or any other free LLM. But if you actually want to write personalized email for your prospects, I won't suggest you using this particular Google Gemini. I will suggest you use Anthropic Cloud AI to route your email, because it's very good in writing email. So that's the first part. And from the output parser, for the structural output parser, so I just like tell the LLM to be able to like output the subjects separately and the body of the message separately. So that's why I do that. So yeah, that's why I do that. So that's just the JSON output parser. So going to the next node, this is the Gmail node that I'll be using to be sending the email. So you are going to connect your Gmail account, and for the message, for the results, you are going to be choosing message, and for the operation, you are going to be sending. You're going to click on send, and the person you are going to be sending this particular email to, you are going to be taking their email from their email address from the input they submitted. Because if you just like include just one email here, it's just going to be a static email, so you don't want to do that. So that's why we input this particular email address here. We just drag and drop it here to be able to like use it for the workflow. And the subject is the subject that the LLM gave us earlier, which is the subject that came out from this, which is the output that came out from this LLM, the message that it wrote. This is the subject and this is the email body. So you are going to be dragging and dropping the subject in this node and also the message body. So for the email type, you are going to be leaving it as text, since you are not like embedding any link in the email. So you are going to be leaving it as text. That's about the Gmail node, and you are going to be make sure you are appending the n8n attribution, unless the prospect will be getting something like this message was sent with n8n, and the prospect will automatically know that this message is an AI message and not an actual handwritten message or something like that. So you want to make sure you are appending this n8n attribution. Now we come to the source of the workflow, which is where we are going to be scraping the website data of the prospect. Alright, so to do this, I'm going to be using Firecrawl. So Firecrawl is a scraper that scrapes websites, links, and anything like that. So the reason why I'm using Firecrawl is because it's give you back an LLM ready data, so like it is on their website, and it's very cool. You can play around with it to check how it works and everything. So it gives you free credit to sign up, and their work is very cool. Their output is very okay. So I'll be using Firecrawl in the HTTP node, which is the post node which I'll be using to post information to the Firecrawl. So to configure the node, you are going to be using post as the method, because you are sending data to the to Firecrawl. So the data you are sending to Firecrawl is the website of the prospect, which I'll show you now. Alright, so to configure all these fields, the easiest way is for you to just import the curl. So to do that, you go to Firecrawl, you are going to sign up, and when you sign up, you come to this, it will show you this page. When you go to this page, you just go to the playground. So when you click on the playground, to direct you to this page, this is where you are going to like perform any action you want. So you have different action here: bash script, LLM extract, crawl, and map. So you can play with a ton of things here. So but for this workflow, I'll just be doing something simple, and that is scraping the website and returning important information. So to do that, you can just come here. I am using this extract, this new. So you just come here, you scroll down, and you're going to be copying this code, this URL. So if you copy this code, you come back to your n8n. So you click on import curl and put your the code you copied, and everything will fill in the HTTP node automatically. But I had issue with the n8n when I was trying to like import the call when I was building this workflow. So what I do is I just manually input everything on my own. So this is the way I do it, in case you encounter the same issue. So you come to Firecrawl, you come to this, you are going to be copying this post code, this post URL. So you are going to be copying this, you come back to the n8n. This is the first thing you are going to be pasting, which is the URL. For the authentication, I just leave it as none, and I'm not sending query parameters, but I'm sending headers. So you toggle headers on, and the other parameter, the parameter that I'm using is first content type. So I leave the value as application or JSON, and to add that, you just like click on add parameter and you give it a name and the value. So that's just how to add that. Yeah. So another important part, which is very, very important, is the is another thing, is the your API key, because without the API key, it won't go through. So I added another parameter and I give it a name as authorization. So to copy your API key, you come to your Firecrawl. So the API key is here. You can just create another API key, or for this case, I already created an API key, and it's very simple, because when you come to this playground, you'll be able to this overview, you'll be able to like create and copy your API key. Easy and straightforward. It is not hard. Just copy your API key here, and so that's about that. So going back to our Firecrawl, so we are going to be putting our API key, and the way you are going to be doing that is you are going to be writing barrier here, then you are going to copy your API key. That's how you are going to do it. So this is very important. You write barrier here, then the API key that you copied, you just like paste it here, then you are good to go. So for the body parameter, I'm going to be sending, this is all the data that I'm sending to Firecrawl to be able to get the output that I need. Alright, so let's go ahead and check the JSON body and see all the codes and everything that is inside. By the way, if it looks scary, I'm going to break it down. You don't need to know how to code before you understand this thing. So I'm going to try my best to break it down. Alright, so this is similar to what is on the Firecrawl website here, on this Firecrawl playground. But this is just what you are seeing on the Firecrawl website is just an example. So to make it easy for you, the only thing you just need to do is just like you are going to copy the whole curl, the whole URL, the whole code. You copy it. You are going to go to an LLM cloud. Cloud is actually actually much better in writing codes. So you are going to paste it, and you tell the LLM, GPT cloud, or whatever you want to use, to rewrite the code so that it can be tailored to what you want to use it for. So what am I saying in essence? If you go back to the n8n node and you check this particular JSON body, so this is everything I want to get from my prospect website. So, and remember, this is going to be statics. So if it happens that any data that is on the website, on the prospect website, is not available, it will just leave the space empty. So if you check the prompts, if you read the prompts together, so inside the code, there's prompt, there's URL, schema, all the types, the properties, and everything that you want to like extract from the prospect website. So the prompt is this, and that's the beauty of Firecrawl. You'll be able to like prompt Firecrawl to be able to like scrape a particular data that you want. So alright, let's read the prompt together. Extract a comprehensive set of details about this business for personalized outreach. Include its primary focus or service, target audience, notable features or offerings, all available testimony or client codes, significant achievements or milestones, key products or service listed, any mentioned pain points or challenges, the company mission or vision statement, geographical focus or service area, and any partnerships or affiliations noted on the website. Provide as much details as possible from all relevant pages. So that's the prompt you are giving Firecrawl to be able to like get all the data you need. So if you now go to the data, you see primary. If you now go to the body of the JSON, we see the primary focus, the target audience. It should return the target audience, notable features, testimonial, achievements, product, service, pain points, mission and vision, and everything. So you are going to. So everything is in the body of the code. So this is how you are going to be prompting your cloud or ChatGPT, Grok or whatever you want to use to re-edit code. So you are going to be doing that. So there's a space for you to input the website URL, and for the website URL, you are just going to be dragging this schema, this particular schema that is on the page, on the website page, which is the website URL of the prospect that they submitted earlier. You just drag this and you input here. So that's how that one works. So with that, you are good to go. So after that, I added a wait node here, and the reason why I added a wait node here is whenever you send information to a web scraper that you are using, it's going to take time before it's returned the data. So, and if this wait node is not there, and I'm just like pulling the data that I sent to the crawl or whatever thing that I'm using to scrape information, I'm only going to be getting a status like directly. I'm just going to be getting a status. So if I should detach this and just attach this and run this, so if I should run this and run this also, oh, the output came so fast. That's because I waited before I tested the second one. But sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes the only status that you get back is just processing. Instead of the status being completed here, instead of the status being success here, you are going to get processing. So that's why I added a wait node in order to avoid any error. So that's the essence of this wait node that is here. So for the wait node, I only set the amount to 10 seconds to be able to like wait for 10 seconds before sending the information to the next node. And so what is in the next node? This is another HTTP request node. So the function of this HTTP request node is to get the information, to pull the information that we send to the Firecrawl. So when you send an information to a crawler or to a web scraper, you want to get back an output. So to do that, we need another thing that will be listening to what you send. So that's the essence of this HTTP request node. So to configure the HTTP request node, you go back to Firecrawl and go back to this playground. The documentation, don't forget you are going to be checking the documentation. You go back to the documentation and you are going to be coming here to the to this particular part, so you'll be able to extract the information that is sent to the Firecrawl. So you are going to be copying this URL. You are going to be copying this URL. You go back to n8n and paste this URL, and to be able to like And to be able to use the ID that is coming from here, the ID that is coming from here will be ID that is coming from the previous node. Alright, let me rerun the whole workflow to be able to, okay, the ID came through. Alright, so this particular ID that was sent to Firecrawl, you need to get it back. So when you paste the first code, the first URI that I showed you, and if you check back to Firecrawl, you will see there's an option to paste the extract ID, which is this extract ID. So to do that, you are just going to be dragging and dropping this schema, this particular ID that was sent to Firecrawl. So this ID from this wait node, you just like drag the ID and drop it here, then you are good to go. So we are not going to be configuring much in this because we are only like pulling back the data that we sent. We are not going to be sending the body, we are going to be sending headers, and we are not going to be sending query parameter. For the authentication, we are going to be leaving it as none, and so for the specify header. And by the way, you can also like import the query directly instead of like manually pasting and copying. So I ran into an error while doing that, so I had to like do it manually. So, and I think it's better to explain to you in case you run into the same error. Yeah, so for the headers, I'm going to be using field below. For the name, I use content and type, and for the value, I use application/JSON. So for the second parameter is authorization. The name is authorization, and the only thing you are just doing is copying and pasting the previous API key. So you can just come back to your previous node, previous n8n, previous HTTP request node, and just like copy this particular value, then paste it in the get request node. So that's how that works. So yeah, and we are not going to be sending body. So moving to the next part of the workflow, let me just tell the whole workflow again so that I can be able to see data to proceed. And alright, so for the next node is an if node. So, and the purpose of this if node is just to like troubleshoot whatever error before or in the workflow, so that we won't be getting an error and to avoid the automation breaking. So the purpose of the if node is to check if the data that is coming from the post node that is coming from the get node is successful. So let me show you the if node, and let's just go inside. So we are checking for a status equals to completed. So if the status is equals to completed, then we are going to be passing the output as true to the next phase. But if the status is not equals to completed, which is what we actually want, this is the status we are pulling, it must equal to completed. So this is when the data has been scraped and all the information we required from Firecrawl has been sent back to us. But if it has not come through and it's still like processing or incomplete or whatever status that is there, so it's going to send the information back to an edited field, which is when we are going to be inputting our ID here, then send it back to this wait node to be able to trigger this get node again. So the function is, instead of manually trying to like trigger the get node to be able to like give us another data, to be able to like check if the status is complete, so we just like build a small little automation here to be able to like automatically just trigger this get node for us to check every time if the status is not complete. So that's how that one works. It's like troubleshooting before inside the workflow, like error trigger, something like that. Alright, so that's the essence of that. So another thing, so the next part of the workflow is the edit field, and this edit field is where we are going to be inputting all the data. Like I'm setting all the data that I need to write a personalized email for the prospect. Alright, if you check the other side of the workflow, we have a bunch of data coming through, like a lot of data coming through. But I need some specific data because everything that is there is not relevant in crafting the message that I want to send to the prospect. So the LLM need some important details to be able to like send to the prospect, to be able to like write the message that wants to be sent to the prospect. So alright, so this is all the inputs I'm setting in the set field, and you can actually check it in these outputs. So I'm just dragging and dropping the output that is coming from here. So which is the first one I'm dragging is the pain points. I'm dragging and dropping the achievements, the testimony, the primary focus, the mission vision, the target audience, geographical focus, notable features, products or service, the first name, last name, email address, and the message the prospect sent, the message the prospect gave us on when they were submitting the form and everything like that. So that's the essence of it at this field. Just like take the only value that I needed. So the next thing here is a code node, and the essence of this code that I wrote here, I just add LLM to write the code for me to make things easy. So the function of this code is to merge all the data that I set into the edit field, all this schema, all this JSON, like to merge everything into one input to be able to make it easy for me to input in the next node. So if you check the left side here, you can see everything is splitted. I didn't use aggregate node because I don't think it will be important for it to be useful for what I actually want to use it for. So that's why I just like replace it with the code. So it's just a basic code to merge data together. So as you can see, the data is separate on the left side, and here is like a huge chunk. We might not be able to read this easily, but the LLM, the AI, will be able to like read and interpret this on its own, and fine. Now this is the main AI agent that will be writing a personalized email for the prospect, and its prompt is quite longer than the other one because this is the source. Alright, so in this prompt, I'm telling the AI to write a personalized friendly email for the prospect, and you can just pause the video to read the prompt. And I don't know if I will do this like the way I normally do. I usually like break every prompt and every code down in a document, then then add it to the workflow you want to download. But since I'll still be like doing this, I'm breaking everything down on the live call, on the community live call, which you can join anyway. It's free for everyone to join, and I'm going to be building this live, so I don't need to do that. You're going to be seeing me doing everything live, so you can just like pause the video and just read the prompts. So another thing that I want to point out in the prompt is I'm writing the message as HTML. And the reason why I'm writing the message as HTML is to be able to embed the scheduling, the booking link inside the message. So if you go back to the n8n message, you see this is just a link, schedule a call, and it's a blue color. Instead of having a normal URL that will be scattered all over the email and make it look messy, like http book a call blah 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 cloud.com calendar.com. So I just like embed it in the email, so to make it look nice and professional. So that's why I wrote the message in HTML. I formatted the message in HTML and not as a plain text. So, and for the input data that the LLM will need to write everything, so I just give it a simple input, which is the input that I used the code to merge together for the LLM to be able to use. So if you check the output there, this is everything that is there, and if you look into it, you can see directly for yourself that everything is inside: the primary focus, the target audience, the client, the prospect name, and everything. And another thing that you're going to be using in the prompt is the name, which you can drag from anywhere here in the previous node. So that's about that. And for the LLM, I'm using Google Gemini, and like I mentioned earlier, use Anthropic. It's not compulsory anyway, but I found out that Anthropic is better. I'm talking about cloud. 3.5 Sonnet is okay, and if you want to use 3.7 is okay. So use cloud to write your email. And also another tip is AI have a wide range of data that it can give you, like 1 to 1 million or whatever variable. It has a lot of variable. So to be able to like minimize the amount of variable that it can give us, so the best thing is to give it an example and to be able to like give you an efficient output. Instead, it might be giving you a message that is not like, that doesn't sound like your brand, that is not like your brand tone or something like that. So that's why you want to be writing your own email the way you want it. So, but the LLM, you just like play around with it and just like try to tweak it a little bit so that every email, of course, every email won't be the same for every prospect since they don't have the same business. And even if you are targeting a particular niche and you are serving, let's say, real estate agents now, so even them, their message and their offer is going to be different. So you can't expect the same email for every prospect. So, and the best thing is just like give it a range of what it needs to, something that it needs to like give you like similar output. So that's the essence of that. And from the output parser, I just like to be able to give me the subjects and the body separately. So that's the essence of the output parser. So that's about that. Moving to the next node, which is the Gmail node. So after writing all the email, after getting all the email, we want to be sending it to the prospect. So, and this is very easy. The resource is going to be message, the operation is going to be send, and this is going to be the email you are sending the message to, which is going to be the prospect email. And you can actually get that from the form they submitted here. From this form they submitted here. So the email address, you just drag and drop it here, and the subject, which is what the LLM gave you, and also the message body. And also the email type will be in HTML, unlike the previous one that will be sent in text. Don't forget to use and to put it as HTML. So that's how it's going to be. And that's all about the Gmail node. And another important thing about the Gmail node is this n8n attribution. You are going to be making sure you are appending this n8n attribution, because if not, n8n signature will be on your form, will be on your email that the prospect will be getting, and that won't look good for your brand or your agency or whatever you are running. So because it's going to be saying this message was automatically sent with n8n, and that's bad. So you're going to make sure you're appending n8n attribution. Alright, so the next thing is another code node that is there, and the essence of this code node is to return this as a plain text. So what am I returning as a plain text here? This is the message that I'm sending to the client. So to the prospect rather. We send the message as an HTML to the prospect, and I also want to have the sample of the message that was sent in my Airtable. And if I just like drag and drop the message that was sent, which is this message body, into my Airtable, everything is going to be scattered, and it's not going to be readable because it's going to be in HTML. So the function of this code is to format this particular message body as a plain text so that I'll be able to read it in the Airtable. So that's just about that. So another thing that I want to point out here is this wait node that you can put between this LLM and the Gmail node. Don't forget, everything happened fast. Everything happened fast when I was testing the workflow. And in real life, the prospect doesn't expect you to research everything and send everything in less than 30 seconds. It is not possible. So you are going to be adding a wait node here to wait for probably a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Best should be under 3 minutes. So this wait node, and you're going to configure it to the time frame that you desire. You're going to be adding it between this LLM and the Gmail message and the Gmail node. So after the LLM is done with the mail that I want to write, after the LLM is done with the mail, so it's going to pass it to this wait node, and it's going to be waiting for a certain amount of minutes before sending it to the prospect. So that's the essence of that. Alright, so the last agent here, the last LLM here is the one that summarizes everything about the prospect, which will later go ahead and form the notes that will be needed to prepare for the call. So this is it. So this is the prompt that I'll give it to it, and you can just pause it and read everything. So the role is just that you are an AI assistant that generates detailed structured summaries for preparing client calls. So that's the essence of this particular agent. So you create a good looking summary like the one I showed you in the Airtable to be able to prepare for the call. So that's the essence of this particular agent, and you can pause the video to read the prompt yourself. Yeah, for this you can use Google is good. The only part that you want to use another model like Anthropic is just where the one that you are sending the personalized email you are sending to the prospects. And for the output parser, lazy about it. I just like copy the whole thing and just paste it here. So that's it. So this is the output parser I used to be able to like give me the exact thing that I want. So, and the last part is the Airtable node. So configure the Airtable. If you are new to the channel, you can just go back to my previous videos where I use Airtable. I walked you through how to set up the Airtable credential, the schema, and everything, because that's not what I'm going to be going through in this video. You can just go back to any of my video and check. Just check this timestamp. I usually include where I'm setting up the Airtable, so that's where. So I created an Airtable and I created a table. So, and I included all the field that I wanted. And when you have everything, just like set up your credentials here, and you check the base. By the way, check my previous videos to be able to get all these things I'm explaining very well. So the base is what you created, and which is the lead converter, which is this thing that is here, lead converter. So this is the base, and the column and the table is just only one table. This is the only table one that I'm using. So it's going to like give you the table whenever you set up your credential. Everything is going to load automatically, and you'll be able to like access everything. So things that I'll be dragging into the Airtable is all this data I needed: the full name, the message the client, the prospect sent, the lead detail, their website, the first email, the second email, the first email status, the second email status with the actual email. This is the status and this is the actual email, and this is the last part, which is the summary of the notes that you were reading in the Airtable the other time. So this is all about that. So that's part of the Airtable, and everything is going to be formatted here, and you're going to be getting everything nice and clean over here. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and the templates will be available here in the WordPress community. So you just come to this site, templates, prompts and video, then you'll be able to download the templates and start using it. And I'll be hosting a live call where I'll be building this AI agent, and you have access to ask me questions, and I'll be giving you tips on how to use these agents that we are building and workflow in real life, because most of these are just proof of concept, all these videos that you see on YouTube. So, and if you're a business owner that wants to work with me directly and you want a custom AI solution tailored for you, I have a link down in the description where you can contact me and book a call, and we'll go about how to build a custom AI solution for you. And also, if you're an AI developer yourself and you need AI and you want to learn more about AI, join the community. If you have any question, you can ask me, and check my other videos. And also, it's a good thing to, and finally, it's a good thing to be able to like respond to your lead instantly. But while being on the call, you want to need to send a proposal, and after the call, it can take a few days and all. But if you check my video about how to create a proposal, how to create an AI agent, an AI workflow to create a proposal, you'll be able to whip up a proposal in less than 2 minutes. All you need to do is just to give the AI agent, the AI workflow, a prompt and tell it about the scope of the project and everything. Then it will go ahead and create a nice looking proposal, and it will be ready to send to the prospect. And also, if you approve the proposal, it will go ahead and send the proposal to the prospect with a clear call to action. You can check my video on how to create a proposal, and you will really enjoy it. So that's to be all for this video. Thanks.